Its coastline is famous, with thousands of years of history. Its white, chalky cliffs, turbulent seas, and sandy beaches have been the site of battles and voyages. And its food is some of the most quintessentially French. Normandy is one of the most recognizable names of French regions, and one of the most popular for our cooking vacations and cultural tours in France. But many do not fully appreciate its centuries of fascinating history. The area was conquered in Roman times by Julius Caesar, who founded a city that became modern-day Rouen, as well as many other cities throughout the region that survive in some form to this day. It was during Roman rule that Christianity found its way to the region as well, which would result in some of Normandy's most iconic sites, from the Cathedral of Rouen, which was built and rebuilt over a period of 800 years, resulting in an incomparable mix of Gothic, flamboyant, and Renaissance architecture, to the Abbey of Mont Saint-Michel, founded in the year 708 and one of Europe's most recognizable sites. In the early Middle Ages, the region was a battlefield between the Saxons and Germanic tribes, most notably the Franks, who took control in the 5th century and whose rule reached its apex with Charlemagne. However, as one of the northernmost regions of France, its position along the English Channel meant access to invaders, including the Vikings, also called Northmen. Eventually, the Vikings, under the lead of Rollo the Viking, won the territory from the Franks, and after a treaty in AD 911, started settling the country in large numbers. These settlers became known as Normans, and the area known as Normandy. One of the most famous of Normans, William, Duke of Normandy, also known as William the Conqueror, successfully invaded England in 1066 at the Battle of Hastings, which is immortalized in the famed Bayeux tapestry kept in the Cathedral of Bayeux. However, the union of Normandy and England under a single ruler became contested after William's death, and Normandy became a hotly fought over prize for almost 400 years. Its rule fell to the Angevin Empire under the Counts of Anjou, then to the French Capetian kings, then back to the English, before ending as a French territory in 1450 after the 100 Years' War. One famous event in Normandy during this period, the burning at the stake of Joan of Arc in the Old Market Square of Rouen in 1431. Normandy resurfaced, of course, as a site of great battles some 500 years later, when in the 20th century it was the location of the historic Allied invasion of German-occupied France, known as D-Day. A visit to Normandy's World War II battlefields, monuments, and cemeteries gives a sense of the scope of this endeavor in a way that nothing else can. Normandy is still largely rural, with rolling fields in the interior and overlooking its famous coastlines. Its rolling farmlands lend themselves to agriculture and the raising of livestock. The agriculture is responsible for one of Normandy's most known products, apples, and the livestock for its other, cheese. Apple production in Normandy is centered around the department called Calvados, which gives its name to the region's famous apple brandy, but is also the center of the region's excellent cider production. King among French cheeses is perhaps Camembert, but that is but one of the AOC dairy items produced there. In fact, in France, something made à la Normande, or Normandy style, generally means with a creamy or buttery sauce. I've read that it is the temperate coastal climate that provides such good grazing for the cows, sheep, and goats, but whether true or not, there is no denying the results in the world-famous cheeses like Camembert, Neufchâtel, Livarot, and Pont-l'Evêque, as well as in the AOC butter, Beurre d'Isigny. To visit Normandy is to step back in time. Its medieval splendors rise from the foundations of the Romans and were built by each successive people that ruled there. The stunning Jumièges Abbey was begun in the 7th century during the reign of Frank King Clovis II. It saw ruin at the hands of the Vikings and rebirth under the rule of William the Conqueror. Its impressive ruins today are one of the most visited sites in Normandy. The great-great-grandson of William the Conqueror, England's Richard the Lionheart, built another of the region's famous sites, the castle of Château Gaillard. And peppered throughout the countryside are picturesque medieval villages such as Domfront, characteristic half-timbered Norman villages like Bouron-en-Auge and Corneille, and beautiful seaside towns like Honfleur and Bayeux. Normandy, in short, is there to explore. From the cliffs of Etretat to the World War II memorial at Omaha Beach, from the fields of cattle on the Norman plains to the Cathedral of Rouen, from the local bread oven in the village center to the cider producer down the street. Explore it with us on a cooking vacation and culinary tour in Normandy and discover this amazing land. Check out our culinary vacations in Normandy and throughout France on our website, www.theinternationalkitchen.com, or contact us for more information.